Hello, welcome back everybody into the channel. It's been 3 weeks since planning to move went ahead, and finally after 3 weeks actually got around to moving. I'm now here in the new flat and all the desk is set up. I had to go ahead and buy myself a new one, but setup is absolutely huge. If anything is different from like the usual streams before, then please let me know. But otherwise we should be continuing to the normal, and today I picked G-Lord, which is of course the Piper Seneca II 200 Tango by Iceman series Jetstream. Great, so we have a nice venture today. We're going from Blackpool Airport. I did a little practice flight last night just on the new desk setup, and I have to say it is pretty damn good. There's a lot more space here to write things down, to write notes. I've just downloaded a few new versions of things. So there's a new version of Xpilot. There's also a new version of OBS. I don't know what that sound is in the background, if that's an external app or something else, but I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it's making like a banging sound. Maybe it's... oh no, there it is. It sounds like the door is making a sound glitch. I'm not sure if anybody can hear that. So we're out here. Let's show you the flight plan today from Blackpool Airport. I'll bring it up in a window. Should be able to see it momentarily. And yeah, great to be back. A little bit strange, of course, to be back. It feels very odd to be away from the simulator for so long. So here we go. Here's the map on Sky Vectors. I've done it via VFR, so we can keep it nice and simple. As you can see, I've got it written down as well for my reference, but we've got an initial course of 05176 nautical miles all the way up to Teesside Airport. Then we're going outbound again on 0298 54 nautical miles to Carlisle. Never been to Carlisle Airport before. I suspect it'd probably be very, very interesting. Very small or maybe very big. And then after Carlisle, we're going to continue 300 nautical miles, 300 on the course and 70 nautical miles on the distance. So total about 205 nautical miles. We'll be tracking the NDB to the initial Teesside, and then we'll be tracking an NDB to Echo Golf Papa Kilo, which is Prestwick Airport, Glasgow Prestwick. Was initially going to do touch and goes, then I planned on doing a full stop landing. Now I'm kind of thinking we do a full stop landing at Teesside and Carlisle, but we don't stop and shut the engines down, so we'll just get there and do a quick turnaround and take off again as soon as possible. So we'll get down, land, and take us back to the active runway. I've also brought up something called Fuel Consumption Calculator. This is something I actually downloaded, used many months ago now. Let's have a quick drink. Yeah, many months ago. And this will tell you how much fuel you need. So, for today's flight, we're going to be using that. I'll bring it up when we do the fuel calculations, but we will be using that to calculate it. So let's go ahead and get in the checklist out. I did just load it up. So we go down to aircraft, we go down to Jetstream. Should be able to find it on the manuals, and then usually I use the normal procedures. You can in fact get a checklist and procedure guide here, but this is sort of like a simplified version of it, so I do recommend if you have the aircraft, get the normal procedures and use it. Otherwise you're going to be not skipping on things, but probably not learning as much. So we'll get all the covers off, pitos, engine and wheels, and we're going to check the oil levels today because I've not been in the plane for a while. Now they are below a 7. I think just for the sake of being on top of things, we're going to keep them full. The engines are being shut down for a while. The plane hasn't flown for a couple of weeks. I haven't even been on the sim for 3 weeks. So let's see how much I remember. Both oil things are full. We're going to do the airplane status. So worthy, yes. Weather is, it's kind of VFR. I say VFR on the ground, but now that I look at it at Blackpool, it's kind of gone into IFR conditions. So I have to say, we can always switch from VFR to IFR. We're not restricted. We are rated on both. So weather is kind of suitable. We'll get over that. Baggage, right. We want the weight and balance. So we're going to go with me. We have got a full load today. This is like a family day out. We're going via plane rather than via car or via bus or train, just because we own our own. We're also going to load up with the correct amount of fuel when we need it. We've got baggage in the back and in the front today. So as you can see, we're very, very heavy. The only thing we haven't got is somebody next to me. But I think actually we could probably add them in. So weight and balance is sorted. They're all here waiting to get in the aircraft. It's really, really cool that actually. I mentioned that in my initial review, and you can find that on the channel, but the figures really do bring it to life quite considerably, and they're not too bad from a distance. It's just close up, they look a little bit strange. So here we go, weighing centre of gravity is within limits. Navigation plan, so we've got 200 nautical miles, we just talked through it. Charts and navigation equipment is on board. Performance and range, well, we'll assume we've got those on board as well. So let's get in the cabin. I'm going to check things now. So landing gear position, lever is down. Parking brake is on, gear is down, isn't it? It always looks like it's up on the Piper Seneca II. I don't know what it is. It's just the position of the gear. And that sound glitch, I think that is the aircraft. I just can't pinpoint what it is. It kind of sounds like the door is slamming shut constantly. So avionics are off. Now I'm using the honeycomb equipment today. So we got all the switches off on there. Master switch is also off. These are down here on the left hand side. Landing gear, master switch is coming on. I'll use the honeycomb for that, and then we're going to check the 3 green lights. So let's turn the lights on in the cabin. I hope that sound thing isn't going to persist. I have just done the next pilot update, as I say, so it may be that's interfering with the X-Plane 12.4 possibly. So we've got 3 green lights. They're very, very dim. Fuel quantity is going to be refueled. As you can see down there, we've got just over 25, maybe 20 gallons each. Tank cow flaps are open. Master switch is coming back off. Mixture controls are either cut off. Props are fully forward. Flaps. You can see there, I have lowered the flaps. It's lowered them on both sides, so we can see that. I can see at least. We could hop out the aircraft now and do a check of the lights and things, but I'm going to skip that for today and assume the ground checks have already been done. So flaps, we check the operation. We're going to check the controls. Again, free and working. P2 and static systems. Drain. Now, I don't really know how to do that in a sim. I don't think it's actually simulated. Empty seats, fastened, cross drains, etc. Right, this is the outside check. Now, we're going to just do a skip of that because I have in fact checked the aircraft myself. So we're going to get out. I'm going to shut all the doors. I'm going to get people locked in. For the pre-engine starts, G-Lord, we are on the network today. I'm starting to think it's that might be causing the issues. Let me disconnect from it a sec. Just leave it off for a second. We've got a departure time about 1:45, so I left myself plenty of time. I wanted to get on early actually because I missed this. Missed this a lot. I missed streaming and missed being on the flight sim. Of course. Basic energy navigation today, kind of like VOR, but a little bit more basic. I say a little bit more basic. They're very, very old systems. Still a lot of fun to use. And just for reference, on my review, in these little cabins here, so you can find items like the battery, but you can't see any internal baggage. And I have mentioned that Jetstream would probably be better off adding some physical baggage in there, just modelling some in there, and because they bring it to life a bit more. They've taken the time, the characters. They've even put distinctly different characters in there. Right, door is coming closed. Let's go ahead and lock it. I think that's secure now. Everything is on. Pretty much don't want to do the checklist usually because I already know them. But because it's been a couple of weeks, I'm going to do them. Plus, you should really do them in every single flight. Let's get the flaps up. And if you want to do extend or retract the flaps, make sure you hold your flap lever if you're using the Honeycomb Bravo, and that will retract and extend them slowly. So here we go. Seats fastened and secure. Seatbelt harnesses fastened and secured. Parking brake is set. Circuit breakers are in. Don't think they're actually modelled on here. Minus, well, 1 or 2 are poppable, but this is customizable things such as the window heaters and the de-ice boots. Alternate air is off and alternators. Saying alternators on there, but I don't think I've ever noticed that before, so I kind of suspect that's for the back gen alternators. We'll just turn them both on. So fuel selectors down here, let's go ahead and switch them on. They were in the off position. Mixtures are fully rich. Throttles are sort of travel quite far forward on the Piper Seneca, so you need them. If you want to get 1,000 RPM and start up, this is about the position to put them. It's actually almost aligned with the propeller white line there, so if you just keep that in mind, you'll be able to get 1,000 RPM and start up. Master switches on, the ignition switches are coming on. So I have got keys assigned to this and the Bravo. Go ahead and do that. I'm going to use the Bravo and the Alpha for this. We're going to do the beacon, and I'm going to stick the nav lights on today just because it's got that overcast weather. which we weren't expecting. Ignition switch on, propeller areas are clear. We'll open this and do a clear prop. Propeller clear, start engage. So this is a very strange plane. If you follow the procedures, you will usually know where to start it. You will usually have to crank it and do the priming. A little bit of give and take there. So I'd recommend priming it, holding it until you hear the fuel flow around the system a couple of times. If you can't hear it, you may want to start cranking the engine a little bit. So as you can see, the engine won't actually start, but that will at least boost the fuel around it. Okay, here we go. Now if we've got weight and balance, so it's saying it's still cold, so it's absolutely cold and freezing outside. It's not too bad actually, it's saying over 10 degrees. Mixtures are not fully rich, that's my mistake. That should still pump fuel around the system though, minus the engines. Yeah, just crank it, and we shouldn't probably do this starter switch at the same time. I'll be patient and I'll wait for the electric. So there it is, just about here. We go for a clear prop on the right. Engine comes to life pretty much straight away. Now with this aircraft, when you use the headsets, it actually makes it louder when you have the windows open. When you have the window closed and use the headsets, it makes it quieter. And it is 100% X-Pilot that's making that like sound. I've just connected to it again and it's now doing the sound again. I hope the aircraft isn't too quiet. It's a little bit too quiet on my end. Let's turn the sim volume up for you guys. I know my voice is quite loud. Right, we'll go for a left engine now, so prime it. There's going to be fuel going around the engine at this point anyway. Nothing just yet. We'll give it a little bit longer. Reduce that throttle on the right hand side. And there we go, so left engine as well. Check down here for the RPM, so we're looking for about 1,000 each. Keeping an eye on the fuel flow and pressures. I know I didn't refuel everybody, but I just realised because we're going to be stopping in Carlisle is where I initially planned. I know I said we're going to do a quick landing and takeoff again, but I think we might as well land and just refuel there and save some time. It's looking a little bit rough up that way. I think we got enough on board to get us there at least. Could really calculate it now, but I'm a bit lazy today. It's just the first flight back. First flight back, isn't it? It's very stressful. Right, we're on the network. I don't really know if there's any controllers. It doesn't seem to be anyone online. We're going to get our avionics on, and we are going to follow this checklist as closely as possible without forgetting anything. So all temperatures and pressures are all good. They're in the greens. So we go down here. We've got fuel selectors on. Mixtures are rich. This is starting engines with the things. We're flooded. Cold weather. We want before taxi. So warm up 1,000 to 1,200. Check shocks removed. Taxi area is fairly clear. We'll be taxiing to the right to get onto the taxiway. Throttle, brakes, steering, instrument heater, defroster, autopilot off. There are some items missing, so we're going to go ahead and turn the avionics on. I'm going to tune to the dreaded 122.8. Okay. Now, usually we'd have, I think it probably did say it on the chat list. I can't see it on this one, I don't know why, but like crossfeed would be what you would have for taxi, unless I was reading another chat list. Either way, crossfeed for the taxi, and then the next one will be the ground check before takeoff. 122.8, there is nobody in range, and we're probably clear to go, so let's go. I apologise if it's too quiet as well. Maybe we should keep the headset off today, just so we can hear the engine sounds. And I'll turn the stream sound down a bit. Well then again, let's turn the stream sound up. Give me a second everybody, I'm just going to check the volume on my phone. Sounds alright at my end. I put the volume up to max. Just means the radios are going to be a little bit louder. So we are off block time really early today. Brace released. Let's get going. I haven't checked really the weather, and we're not really gone through the departure briefing, but I'll go through it before takeoff. As you can see, I'm going to use the X-plane map here for the weather. We have got a crosswind. That probably means we've got a little bit of discretion for takeoff, so we're going to use runway 10. Runway 10 now. We're going to be tracking the NDB on a 347. Let's just do a brake check. So 347 down here. Transponder to standby. Taxi lights on. .347, there it is. So we want frequency. Then we switch them over. So this will be the first track into Teesside Airport. We won't pick up on it when we get in the air. We'll probably have to be quite close to it to pick it up. So we're going to turn the heading mode here to runway 10 or 10 100 or 010, I should say. That should give us the outbound course. Now I was planning on departing and following the course that we had planned of 051 with the Blackpool VOR thing behind us, but then I realised it'd be better just to track the NDB. Anyway, 76 nautical miles, 051 will be the course. So 051 on the course. Heading is still on the runway. It looks like we're going to be taxiing via Alpha, crossing runway 13. It's dead quiet now. I don't know if it's X-plane 12 that's made it super quiet, but with that headset on, I literally can't hear anything. I'm turning my volume up as well. So we're going to cross the runway now. We're going to put our strobe lights on, and we're probably going to just keep our flaps off for now. We don't really want them on when we're taxiing in case we get dirt or grime in them. We will make an announcement on departure or takeoff, but for now we're probably alright. The airport is usually empty. I don't think I've ever had any traffic at Blackpool Airport at all since I got the sim actually last year. There's runway 13, so here's Alpha 2 and then it'll be Alpha 1. So wind is actually pretty much straight ahead of us, which means when it comes to the run-up, what we have to do is just put our brakes on. We don't really need to turn into the wind, we're already facing into it. So I'm going to turn the strobe lights off again, just until we get onto the active. Again, soft braking on the Seneca II is really sensitive on the controls. Here we are, runway 28, 10, so let's go ahead and apply our brakes. Going to put our brakes on. Taxi lights can come off for this one. We're going to leave the transponder to standby, although you can turn it off if you want to protect it. So checklist on. So before takeoff, ground checks. So we've got parking breakers on, mixtures are rich, props are fully forward, RPM is about 1000 RPM, and then what it says here is manifold pressure drain, and then prop controls check feathering. So we go forward here. This is like the first flight of the day kind of thing, so you would only do a very small drop of 300 RPM, and it really does require like the most minimal input on the props. So as you can see, it's going to drop on the left hand side, there you go, and then straight back up again. As soon as it drops, just advance the prop fully forward, then that's just to pump the hydraulic fluid through the system, although realistically it probably is alright. Manifold pressure checked, prop controls, alternate air. So we want 1900 RPM. Piper Seneca II is a really powerful plane. We also need to get the EGNH. I'll get that in a second. There we go, about 1900. Check governor and then props fully forward. Alternate air on then off. This is alternate air down here below our throttles. Not much of a change there, which is good, so we turn them off again. Now we go for the magneto checks. Very different on the Piper Seneca II. You don't have a key, you have switches. Now, if you want to, I'm not saying that it's going to be easy to steal this kind of plane, but it's certainly easier to use the switches than the key. Obviously, because you need the key to use the switch thing, and then this one you don't need it, basically. In other words, it's easier to seal this kind of plane. Okay, so we need a magneto check. We're going to do one at a time, so we're looking at 150 RPM max, 50 RPM max on differential on each. So let's go for the left hand side first. As you can see there, the slide drop. I'm only going to do it quickly, we don't want to leave them off for too long. And well, this just checks that each spark thing can take, or each magneto can take the load of the engine. There we go. We can deliver a sufficient load, I should say, when it's only got one working. And the second one. It looks pretty similar actually over both engines. We're going to close that up. Alternator output. So alternator output here is over, try to remember where it is myself. We've got gyro pressure, which is alright there. Alternator output. See, this is what happens after 3 weeks. Everybody, you hop back in and you forget where simple instruments are, even when they're staring you right in the face. Well, it's good. It's good. We have positive amps. Gyro pressure is good. The instruments looking good. Alternators are on. Engine gauge is in the green. Mixture is fully forward. We're going to reduce them now back to probably about 1000 RPM. It says 800 to 1000, but I always find the higher end to be better. Wing flaps, we do 10 degrees of flaps. No fuel pumps are on. pitot heat as required. So we are going to use pitot heat today because we have some clouds. And just excuse me for a second, everybody. Just need to switch something off. Okay, yes, so back here we go down to my quick shortcut. We're going to do pitot on because we've got cloud coverage, so it will kind of be an IFR departure. Any issues before we lift off, and provided we're going to runway available, we will apply full braking and come to a stop, diagnose issues if we need to. If there's any issues after we take off, we will simply retract the gear. Try and continue round to runway 10 if it's possible. If it's not possible, everybody, of course, would do what we need to do to try and get down on the ground safely. If it's before, like I don't really know what the speed is in this for V1, so I would say probably before takeoff, before liftoff is basically what we're going to use as a reference. Right, landing lights coming on, strobe lights coming on. Transponder is going to test in an altitude, and appreciate I've got this on the screen, everybody, so we're going to use this as a reference. So here we go. Do not exceed 40 inches. Normal takeoff at sea level is 39 inches, 2575 RPM. Flaps will be, we're going to use 10 degrees just because we got a full load on board. Takeoff climb. Okay, so we're going to go for the best angle at 76 knots. Let's get the QNH. We could have tracked outbound from this NDB actually, now that I think about it. Oops. 1022, so it's actually quite high pressure. 1022. I flew here last night and it was 1026. We're going to do the weather radar as well, so flaps, brakes off. Weather radar onto test mode. We're not got any explosives in the area. Flight control check is good. Blackpool traffic, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta is departing runway 10 to the north. We're going on a course of 051 for our initial departure heading, and we'll be climbing straight up to 8,000 feet. So here we are, runway 10 at Blackpool. I actually really underuse this airport runway. I barely take off from 10. It's just preference today because we have got a crosswind. So, but typically, actually, I think even with a crosswind, you probably would take off from runway 28. Right, we're going to do the weather radar on. We're going to climb straight up to 8,000 and pray we have some clear weather. So throttles are coming forward. Everything else is on, I think. 40 inches maximum, so we'll go up to about 39. So power is set. Looking good, 60 knots. 70, rotate. Okay, quick rotation there. We got a positive rate. We're going to put the gear up. To keep climbing now about 76, maybe a little bit more, maybe 78, 80 knots is a bit more appropriate. Wants to go off to the left hand side. We're going to keep it straight. A little bit of crust in there. Flaps are coming up. Landing lights can come off. They're tied directly into the landing gear, so you can only really use the landing lights when the gear is down. There we are. We're climbing nice and steady. Just reduce the manifold back ever so slightly, and we'll bring the checklist up. You can see we're just going to continue tracking. We have gone off course slightly from the runway, but we'll just turn on to 051, shall we? We won't be using the autopilot until we get higher up. You can see there we're building up our speed now about 100 knots, which is normal. Okay, we want cruise climb, so we have 2450 on the RPM. Let's bring the propellers back a little bit. We have 31.5 inches on the manifold. Let's bring those back. And then it says 102, so we can pitch down slightly. Now the aircraft has stabilised. You could feel the crosswind on takeoff, but now we're on course. It seems to have stabilised. It does have a tendency, the Jetstream aircraft, I don't know what it is. As you can see, it is pitching to the left-hand side now. I don't understand that. I think that's some kind of unique behaviour to the aircraft. And of course we want cow flaps. Oh, that should be an item on the checklist. And that'll reduce the drag considerably, so we'll probably get up to 102 pretty easy at this point. Cruising, right, we don't have to worry about anything just yet. We can't exactly clear the nose. We can probably look around a little bit, but it is pretty much IFR conditions as I feared. So family day out. What I'm going to do now, guys, is stick on the heading mode and the vertical speed mode. I'm going to just let the autopilot sort the aircraft out. Looking down here, everything else is good at 2450, 31.5 on the RPM, manifold pressure. Straight up to 8,000 feet. And I am keeping an eye out on the radar, so if anybody comes online to do ATC, we will talk to them. I appreciate today's been different. We've skipped some of the usual briefings, but rest assured we've gone through them indirectly. We've also skipped the fuel planning. We didn't refuel because I was planning to do it a bit further in on the trip, and plus, I'll be honest, I haven't really done it at all in the last 3 weeks, so it's kind of not come back to me yet. Yeah, it looks like a gloomy day, both ATC and weather-wise. London, as usual, has some ATC available, but the rest of England doesn't exist, of course. If you're not in London, you might as well be in space. Look at this, though. Very, very calm. Is G-force camera on? It is. So, as you can see, the plane is very stable. There's no issues at the moment. Let's do a flyby. Really is stunning, really handles very, very realistically, I think. Probably one of the better planes to consider if you like twin piston aircraft. My review is available to watch. Right, 051 for 70 nautical miles. We should be picking up the NDB soon. We have got the arrow thing available. 347, and then do a quick turnaround in Teesside. Yeah, here's some of that rough weather, the yellow. I'm going to just pitch down ever so slightly. We're going to build up a little bit more speed here. We are going up to 8,000 feet. Kind of tempted to just stop at 6,000 feet at this rate. So, if we click on the map, we can do the cloud thing. That's very odd. That is very, very odd. We're flying through clouds and there's no clouds on the X-Plane 12 map. We are at 12.4 now, everybody. It has been updated, and I have to say I'm really enjoying it. It's quite magical. Yeah, there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. So, because we're flying through clouds, you would think it would be clouds on this part of the map, but there isn't. There's just a few pockets of it. That could be concerning. That could be a potential bug in the potentially for X-Plane's laminar to pick up on. It looks like it's going to get even worse as we get up. There it is for November Victor, and we're tracking the Teesside International. What's it got here? So it's saying it's 2-3 for landing. I actually think the opposite way would be better, so we might as well go straight in for 0-5. We've got kind of turned into a headwind, and as we get further north up to Carlisle, up here, so it does look a little bit clearer. Just the initial legs we have to be concerned about. Right, I'm going to switch now from 2450 31. I'm just going to reduce the manifold a little bit more. I'm going to slow the rate of ascent a little bit more. We're going to level off at 5,000 feet, I think. Below what we expected. 8,000 was the initial cruise altitude, but things have gone a little bit differently. We're going to use this reference up here. So on the chat list, it will tell you. Won't really tell you much there, to be honest. It will say to set the mixture and the power, but we want this little reference chart to get the speeds of the mixtures. So we're going to use 65% power today. At so we could, I guess, we'll continue to 6,000 because it's on the chart, and we'll use 2,300 RPM. So we'll be using 30 inches of manifold pressure with 2,300 RPM, and that should give us approximately 20 gallons per hour if we lean the mixtures accordingly. Just fantastic, isn't it? Look at that wick wobble. In fact, I think we could probably lean the mixtures a little bit now. So I'm going to just lean them down to just to bring up the EGT. We could probably put it to lean peak EGT actually. So all the way down there to about 12 to 15. About 12 there, 12 gallons per hour each. So approximately 20 gallons per hour on there will probably be 10 gallons per engine, which is always very odd for me. I always think it's per engine, but it's total fuel flow through both. We're picking up a Southern here. We got a Southern tuned in. We could probably turn that off. We're not actually going to be using it today. Unless we use an ILS approach, and there is one, I think, at Teesside, Carlisle and Glasgow. And we'll break through the clouds a little bit. Oh, whoa, whoa, look at that guy. That's cool, isn't it? I think we should keep climbing actually to 8,000. We're almost through the clouds. Let's go ahead and stick the heating on, so heat's coming on. In this aircraft, the default... Oh, damn, we didn't stick the fuel back onto one. In this aircraft, though, the airflow is always open, so I think you're meant to close that. Otherwise, there's just going to be constantly air coming into the cabin. And then the heater there, we're just going to put it up a little bit as well. Yeah, so it's very odd. The default is to keep it open, but with it open all the time, you are going to freeze to death pretty damn quickly. Okay, so weather radar showing us some positivity. We've got clear skies coming up. Tell you what, she's climbing pretty damn fast as well. We're only going, granted we've almost got a headwind, but it is going pretty fast on this climb. Usually would expect better performance when it's when you're directly into it, but today we've got it either way. By the way, everybody, if you have missed the channel, you've missed me coming onto the streams, let me know. And great to be back here once again. I'm looking forward to it. I hope you're all looking forward to more GA flights and more commercial flights, because I know they haven't been popular. Not as popular as I'd like them to be compared to the GA stuff, but I'd like to do some more commercial things, and I have tried to sign up to another streaming site, so we can do it on there as well, just to broaden out the channel a little bit. And of course the corporate chart is still running. I'm hoping to do another Citation 525 flight. I was looking at the things on here last night, and I remembered my last flight in that. The last flight in the 525 I didn't have like the DME equipment, and I just came to this aircraft last night and I was thinking, wow, these guys have got a functional DME thing here. The distance, the speed, and the minutes. I don't know what it is about the Torxin one, but we'll hop back in it anyway, and we'll check it out. I think I'll probably do something from Biggin Hill over to Europe again. But for today, everybody, of course, we're just going to stick it in the UK. That's local time, that is accurate as well, so it's 10 to 2 in the afternoon. Excellent. In fact, now I've got my whole new desk set up. It is a big desk, everybody, as well. I'm not bragging, but a lot more room here to do things on it. A lot more room for the flight gear stuff. But now I'm looking at my monitor and it looks absolutely tiny on it. So is it time to upgrade the monitor? Anyway, about 8,000 feet. We're not going to suffocate at this altitude. We've got oxygen available. Actually, there's something about this plane that I do like. And it is fully functional. Let's level off. We set the QNH to standard pressure. We're going to look at the reference chart now. We have kind of got VFR conditions, which is what we've been hoping for all day. So here we go. 7,000 on the squawk, 8,000 feet on the altitude. Altitude select is coming on. We're going to reduce the propellers back to 2300 RPM. I'll move the yoke just so I can show you what I'm doing. And it says we need about 30 inches of manifold. So, oh, actually this is 8,000, isn't it? So 2300, we need 29.6. Reduce the manifold to 29.6. So still quite a lot of power required at this altitude. And then 20 gallons, so 10 gallons in each. We're actually already getting about 10 gallons in each now. So we're already leaned out. I would say as well at this point we probably don't need pitot heat on, so we can turn that off. And then if you need de-ice, you have window, prop, and surface. To be honest, we don't need those either, unless we're going through some heavy clouds with ice in them. Okay, keeping an eye on the ADF needle. Looks like it does look like it's coming alive a little bit. What we can do in the meantime though is check for the checklist. So, these are basic stuff, so of course mixtures enriched with descent, throttles, cruise settings, cowl flaps closed. We'll focus on the approach and landing checklist when we get there. Let's get the Echo Golf. I think this is Teesside, yeah, so Teesside 1022 on the QNH still. We're going to see what we've got available. Maybe we've got another way to track the airport. So I said 05 because of the wind. I think that'd be better. Giving us 108.5 there for the RLS. We may as well do the RLS. I've landed at Teesside before in this aircraft. I have to say I handled it very well. The RLS in particular. And the ATC at Teesside from X-Plane 12. Yeah, the ATC from X-Plane 12 at Teesside Airport is actually really good and it works for VFR flights. So I was so glad about it. I actually got vectored in via circuit, so it's vectored me in via like a circuit pattern to an ILS approach. One of the few airports it actually does work at. Anyway, let's tune that in 108.5. This will give us the ILS for runway 105. That's the only other reference. If one is 108.5, but that'll probably be a... I'll be honest, I don't really know. That we can't really tune that in either way because we've got our VOR thing tuned in. Awesome. So what we're going to do, I think we'll land. We may be able to get off at Charlie, but that's quite close. So we'll taxi down, maybe Bravo. We can taxi via Alpha all the way around to. Excuse me, guys, all the way down to Bravo, and then we can taxi Delta. Probably all the way down to Delta 1 for 05 for departure. There's no need to refuel here. I think we'll have enough on board. We've got currently 20 gallons in each engine. We're barely using any actually, so 24.5 in each. With 20 gallons per hour, so of course we've got about an hour and a bit worth of fuel on board. Okay, there's the ADF needle. Unfortunately, we don't have a distance on the ADF, so we'll have to just make do with the arrow today. And we can see visually anyway. So we could probably look out. Some really good terrain here, really good modelling by X-Plane 12. You can see here the landscape. This is actually realistic. As we depart from Blackpool, we go over the... yeah, very realistic. Just look at that nose though. Look at that. These are the kind of shots that I go on the flight sim for. Absolutely gorgeous. Like some of these shots you can't, you just wouldn't get it in real life because you can't move the camera around like this. You couldn't, you couldn't put your head, like you could put a camera here in real life, but you couldn't put your head there and look out at the nose and things. This is what this mirror here is for, is to check the landing gear, but on this sim we can just do this. We're not even that far away, we may as well get descending, so I'm going to just keep the throttles and the manifold where they are, and we'll just start this. In fact, we'll reduce the manifold a little bit, 25 inches, 22 inches, and we'll just enrich the mixture a little bit more and start descending. So vertical speed mode, and we'll go down to 2,000 feet. Excuse me everyone for a minute, I'm just going to get a drink of water. Thanks for your patience. Thank you for your patience. How's G-Lord doing? She's descending. Need to descend a little bit quicker. I keep looking at the map because I keep thinking we're going to be able to see. But then again, we're not even on cloud layer. Right, there we are. So now the clouds are kind of reflecting what's on the map. Look at that. It kind of looks like sunset. I don't know if anybody's seeing this. It looks like we've barely got any sun at the moment in this part. I know it's cloudy, but like that over there. Miracle. Miraculous. Holy. Look at that for a screenshot. Screenshot that. That is cinematography right there, everybody. Absolutely gorgeous. 12.4 has peaked. Explain 12. Right, we're going to do the approach checklist. So let's go back. Excuse me, everybody. Yeah, that pilot don't have a clue what he was saying. Couldn't hear a thing. So we'll get the approach checklist open. I might just take control and fly it, but the autopilot's usually pretty good. This will now be aligned with ILS 108. It was 109.5, wasn't it? Let's check on the map. 108.5. That's interesting. This should align. We'll get a bit closer when we get on the glide slope. We could technically switch over to navigation mode now, and it should be able to lock onto it. Let's try that. Let's try navigation mode. Still on heading for now, until it gets a little bit closer. When it intercepts it on the sort of horizontal track, then it will take over on navigation mode. Until then, it will remain on navigation armed with heading mode active. And then when we set the vertical localizer at glide slope, as I saw from my last video, that's when we'll start to see the arrows move towards the center. The aircraft will start pitching down to follow the glide slope into land. Usually only when you can't see though, so I'm hoping we won't need it. As you can see though, it is pretty concerning. The weather now is zero visibility. 1022 on the QNH. We have got Scottish South control, or Scottish South Centre on. We may pick them up in Carlisle, but for now we won't. Let's reduce the power back to 2000 RPM. We've got 18 nautical miles to the ILS with a glide slope and 152 knots, 7 minutes to go. We could start preparing now, so we could reduce our propellers to 2250. This is something that I read about in another document with the aircraft, so even though the checklist won't tell you to do it, it'll be in another document that will explain the procedures a little bit better. So that's why I recommend with the aircraft you read through them so you understand what to do. I think 3,000 feet may be more suitable just because we're quite far out. We're on a 16 nautical mile final. We probably won't give them a call out till we're within 5 nautical miles. Unestablished at least. And we'll keep an eye on the mixtures, so we do want to keep mixture enriching them at this point and fully forward. Okay, slightly lower, but that'll be fine. Now we're going to keep our throttles low. I want to reduce the power so we don't want that reverse loading from the propellers. Cockpit is very dark. I think this is again just a reflection of the weather rather than a reflection of the plane. Explain 12 did improve that apparently, the dark cockpit issue, but it seems to be very prominent in some of the payware aircraft. Anyway, let's do a little bit of a check. We can't do the gear down yet. Airspeed will be 98 on downwind leg, so we'll assume we'll go down to 98 now on the long final. Seatbelts and harnesses secure. Fuel selectors are on. Cowl flaps is closed. Auxiliary fuel pumps are off. Mixture controls are full forward. Propellers are, so it does say it. Propellers 2250. Okay, I thought it said it somewhere else, but it's here as well. So 2250. Landing gear down at 129 KAIS. KIAS. We don't need it just yet. We're going to drop one notch of flaps. We're really far out though, but just to be on the safe side. And we'll adjust the manifold as required. And then on close final, props will go fully forward. And power will reduce. I think for manifold, so the other document that I read, it did say 22 at downwind, then 2000 and then 1500 RPM on final. I suspect you'll probably need more, although I have done it with 1500 and it's been absolutely fine. And then we don't really need any of this until we get to after landing checklist. Brilliant. So we'll check the wind again, so we're definitely going into slight tailwind, which is fine. I'd rather do a straight in because I don't think there's going to be any traffic here, to be honest. Navigation mode is armed still. We don't seem to be lining up with it. Like, the navigation mode hasn't taken over yet. Autopilot coming off. Let's get on course. Let's get our... The problem with this airplane is you can't really arm the approach mode, so you have to use the instruments. Ah, there we are. We're picking them on the glide slope now. And it will be 05 for the runway. Teesside traffic Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta is 10 nautical mile final 05 ILS approach. Hope that's the right reading. Gonna lose a little bit of height here and get down to 2000. We are actually getting the nose pushed up a little bit, so Echo's getting pushed around a little bit by the wind. As you can see there, it wants to pitch up, even though it's being trimmed down as well. I think this is probably just me not flying on this sim for a while. That's why I'm a little bit rusty, but I think we should have picked this up by now. It's bouncing around like we're going to intercept it. Ah, there we go. I think we're on it. But let's do the navigation and the approach mode and see what happens. So it is guiding us towards it the same direction. Reduce the manifold a little bit more. The aircraft's acting just a little bit odd today compared to yesterday. These readings on the vertical glide slope as well. Concerning. Yeah, very concerning. There's 2000, let's level off a little bit. We'll have to start to descend soon anyway. 6 nautical miles. There's the runway. Okay, so now we can do a visual because we can see the runway ahead of us. So I'm going to put the gear down a little bit early. Well, 98 on downwind, so we reduce our speed now to landing speed, which will be As you can see on here, it gives us a landing speed of 87 knots on final. That'll vary, of course. I'll usually go in a little bit slower than that, depending on how heavy the aircraft is. I think we're fully established at this point. We're on the glide slope as well. It's not really moving the instruments as I'd like it to, so we're not really intercepted it. We've done the vertical one, but not the horizontal one. Let's reduce the manifold to 1500 to see what it gives us on the speed. Okay, she's slowing down a little bit now. We'll give it another notch of flaps. Teesside traffic, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta is established now. ILS runway 05. Sort of, but again, if we had that horizontal guidance, it would probably guide us towards the runway a little bit more. I didn't have any issues with it last night. There may be, again, another bug there, because that explains 12.4 is out now. And we're just going to go full flaps. So you notice I'm keeping a little bit of a higher altitude here because our speed is dropping, so we can pitch down now to get that speed back without having to worry about the altitude. If you want to increase the altitude, we should really increase the manifold pressure. Try and maintain this all the way down. Aircraft is all over the place today. Bit more power in there. And the lights should be on. There's a light over there, light red flashing light. So you got to keep your eye out there, because if that was the tower, for example, we probably wouldn't be able to land. But that could probably be an emergency vehicle or something. Okay, we're going to reduce our power now right down. We should put our props fully forward. Pitch in there to try and get the glide slope, but we should probably just increase the manifold if you want to do that. And we're down, so it's light braking. Can't take that turn out. Oh, the lights come on. Wow. That was late, wasn't it? Something going on with my rudder pedals as well. They feel like they're out of line. I have got a carpet now in this new flat as well, which is an absolute relief. Before I had them on a wooden floor, and you won't believe like the amount of times I struggled to keep them straight. But now on the carpet, these rudder pedals, they're the TFRP ones by Thrustmaster, and they don't move at all. Anyway, landing lights off, taxi lights on. We're going to do the after landing checklist when we get clear the runway. For now, though, we want to focus on clearing the runway, so we're going to bring the manifold back up to about 1000 RPM. To give us about 1000 RPM, excuse me. Because we've already done a flight with the engine run up today, we won't have to do another one. If you want to do another one, it's entirely up to you, but I think in real life you might do it, but you probably wouldn't if you're doing touch and goes, for example. If you're doing a cross-country flight like this, like I say, you might do if you turn the engine off, but if you're going to keep the engine on continuously, there's probably no need to do it on the sim. Again, it differs from real-world procedures, so we're going to do the afternoon checklist, the clear runway check, the flaps are coming up. flaps are retracted. The strobe lights are coming off. Cowl flaps are open. Alternate air is off. So as you can see there, we would, if we were doing the shutdown, we would turn the heater onto the fan for 2 minutes. We're going to leave the heater on here for the takeoff. We can put our transponders to standby for the taxi, or to mode Charlie, which is on. If we wanted to mode Sierra, which is mode S, we could put it onto altitude for takeoff. And it just differs. So as you can see, as we talk through, we're going to go back to Delta 1. I'm going to do another takeoff and continue on to Carlisle Airport. That wasn't too bad. I thought it was going to be a lot better at the end there, but yeah, we didn't get that horizontal guidance, which is probably what threw me off, to be honest, and then we were all over. But not bad overall. Let's watch the replay, and we'll see what happened. There's a crackling outside. I think that might be like rain or heat from the engines. Dissipation of heat, possibly. Ah, we didn't turn the weather radar off either, so usually we do that to keep the environment safe, otherwise you'd fry people's brains and things, and you'd cause explosions, and you'd cause a lot of problems at the airport if you kept it on. I think you can get fined for it as well if you're an airline pilot when you're flying in the terminal area and you've got the weather. I mean, technically you would cause a lot of issues, but you would also get, like, legally, I think there's something going on there where pilots can probably get fined for it. Charged or dismissed. Right, we're going to do a quick brakes on, just give the aircraft a quick break for a minute. Let's go ahead and put our transponder back to on. We're going to do our landing lights, strobes back on, whatever weather radar as it is. So now we want a course of 298. This is a very short trip, everybody. 298. I think about there. We'll leave the course on the runway for takeoff, and that'll be for 54 nautical miles. We don't really have any tracking to Carlisle Airport. I'm just going to check the airport's status. We've now got ATC at Manchester, but that's no use to us. We have got Scottish control, and Carlisle does in fact fall within Scottish control. We're still classed as VFR, but we've had to kind of use our instruments more, so we've been instrument flying while VFR flying. It's very confusing. Carlisle Airport isn't even popping up on the map. And then there's people at our final destination today of Prestwick Airport, which is not too bad. I did estimate 2 hours for the flight, but it feels like it'd be a lot quicker. Let's see if Explain 12 map will give us anything. So there's Carlisle. It'll be a runway 24. That'll be from that direction. So we'll land into the wind. It's going to be a little bit trickier to land at this one. I thought this may have been a bit bigger. If we get the chance, I think we can get off at Foxtrot and then turn around and backtrack runway 24. Let's try that, and we'll track that to Carlisle Airport. Right, parking brake released. Let's neutralise the trim. Right, Teesside Airport, aren't we? Teesside Airport, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta is departing runway 05 to the north. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Okay, 05. I've noticed as well, I think yesterday that practice flight mine was a little bit of a fluke. Control wise today, a little bit off, a little bit sensitive. Instrument wise, a little bit off as well. It's going to take some time, I think, to get back into it. Today was a really relaxed flight though. Still is. So we'll go manifold maximum of 40. We don't need flaps on this one. Manifold right up now to 39. Power sets. 60 knots. And rotate. Ah, that's a lot smoother than Blackpool takeoff. So gear up. We would do flaps up at like 500 or 600 feet. We're going to keep pitching for about 80. Easier to remember than 79. We're going to do our landing lights off because it's tied into the landing gear. And yeah, actually flying and handling a lot better on that departure. And what we're going to do at 1,000 feet is reduce this power setting to a cruise climb, so that'll be 2450 RPM, 31.5 manifold, and then we'll lean the mixtures if we need to. I'm going to keep them rich though, probably till we get to 8,000 feet. Although on this trip, because it's only 54 miles, we probably won't even get up to it. We'll maybe only go up to 4,000 feet. So we're turning now, we're going to 05. Excuse me, to 298. That'll be our course for 54 nautical miles. So about 1,000. We're going to do some propellers, 2450. Manifold down to 31.5. I will reduce the mixtures a little bit. And we're at PGT already, brilliant. And then of course trim. 102 is what they say, but I say around that area is fine. If you look at the speed, we're about 105, 106, it's not too far off. Ah, sorry everybody, I just realised we didn't watch the replay, did we? My mistake. Maybe we can do it in the air when it's on autopilot. I'm hands off flying, literally had no hands on the controls then for a minute. Okay, 3,000, as I say, it'd be 4,000 now. I think from Carlisle to Glasgow we probably will have to go back up to 8,000. It's runway 24, isn't it? I'm going to make a note of that. Carlisle Airport 24. I'll check if the other ILS one were a bit closer, but it doesn't matter if they haven't, as long as it's clear. Okay, let's go heading mode, vertical speed mode. Let the aircraft sort itself out a little bit. Usually, of course, the class the Piper Seneca II is a heavy twin, but I think the Beechcraft Baron is a lot heavier and a lot faster. I mean, it obviously is a lot faster. This thing is like, I barely get up to 160 in cruise. Plus, you've got just the power settings and things are completely different. Like, sure, it has more manifold pressure, but the propeller settings are very high. So in a Baron, you'd reduce them down, you know, more than that on the climb, and it's just those differences. Even though the Piper Seneca, like I say, as it's a heavy twin, I still think it is. But I think the Baron's probably more heavy and faster than this is. Right, 4,000. Let's go to 4.5 just to be on the safe side. We probably don't have to set just transition level, so standard pressure. And it looks like Carlisle has 1020 on the QNH. I'm going to switch that now, actually, 1020. Scottish control, so we should be able to see here where the boundary is. It's this grey line, I don't know if you can see it. It's here somewhere. it's not very easy to see it, but we are going to be crossing into it soonish. That's what the map on the unexplained 12 thing says on VATS and radar. Right, Scottish Control, 12, someone called Manuel, 134775. Let's just tune in and listen in. Nobody's sent me a message yet, so I think we should be alright. And we're also on, yeah, backup is 1228. I know I'm climbing above the altitude, I said everybody, but I'm occupied at the moment with the ATC thing. 134775. Pitot heats.
Lufthansa 7 Kilo, climb flight level 350.
There we go. Lufthansa 7 Kilo, climb flight level 350. Direct Echo Micro runway 23 clear to land, surface winds are 210 degrees 12 knots, report vacated. We're gonna have to refuel. Well, I was gonna say refuel at Carlisle, but I actually think we could probably make it without it because we've still got 20 gallons.
Shuttle is Alpha with you, 320, direct input.
Let's level up at 6,000.
On arrival when ready, descend flight level 260. Input 1 Echo arrival, when ready, descend 260, shuttle is Alpha.
So it's different power setting now. We got a 6,000 feet cruise. We're still going to see 65% of power, so it'll still be 20 gallons per hour at 2300. It just means a little bit less on the manifold pressure, that's all. We'll contact ATC, of course.
Scottish Control, Lufthansa 7 Kilo Heavy, flying unrestricted to flight level 270.
Tried to call you multiple times through responding, climb to level 350.
Okay, no problem, up to flight level 350, Lufthansa 7 Kilo.
You can see their power settings are all set pretty quickly, 20 gallons per hour. A very, very efficient aircraft actually. I thought this was going to take a lot longer because I thought we were covering quite a bit of distance, but we're going there so quickly that we're barely burning anything off.
Level 200, level by INREF.
Of course, cow flaps
200 by
help
INREF,
close.
shuttle is Alpha.
Out of the clouds into the sunshine. Hope we got some sunshine at Carlisle and Glasgow. Now if I request a full stop, he's going to give me probably guidance for a instrument landing, which we can't really do.
7 Kilo after Agbed, direct to Dolas.
We don't have the equipment on board, we don't have a GPS, we only have the basic radio stack. We've got a VOR thing, navigation, and a DME, but that's it. In fact, while we're at it, we may as well tune the Glasgow Prestwick NDB in advance, so 357. Right, 355, and that'll be in there for our final destination. The final destination is about 70 nautical miles from Carlisle, which is not too bad. Okay, notepad ready, pen is ready. Do a few notes from the ATC if it gives us it. Not quite in their airspace. It's very confusing because Teesside does actually cross through their airspace briefly to the north and south and the west, excuse me, the east, but then you go a little bit more north and then there's no Glasgow, Scottish Control, etc., and then all of a sudden you're back into it, so it's a very odd little pattern there over the Teesside region. Oh, we're getting on the speed, 150. Yes, as you can see there with the power settings, not as fast as the Baron. The Baron could easily go up to 200, even without turbocharged engines, which makes me think that maybe this isn't turbocharged, even though they said it is. By the way, these instruments just look fantastic. This one down here last night, And still today, it really is crafted and designed very, very well. Like the clarity and the clearness of this instrument, fidelity wise, visually at least, is superb. These guys in the back not had a chance to have a break yet, but we got a little bit of drinks, snacks. Not much else in here to do. There's no music player. Oh, there is kind of. You can push this can thing down here, and I talked about it in my review. It give you a a cover of a song, but I don't know if it's going to be playable or not. From the YouTube point of things.
Lufthansa 460 Scottish Control, hello, roger.
Roger that. So really just looking around. But this new flight, by the way, if anybody didn't know, for context, I was on the top floor before.
Ground 121.705 away.
I was away from the traffic, and now I'm down the ground floor, back with all the traffic again. It's not a problem for me, but I just hope it doesn't interfere with the streams.
Sending 130, translate Alpha.
Ah, well, hello, Truth in Fly. No, I almost called you Travel Buff then, I don't know why. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the ride, G. Lamentably, you have to run. I look for it. Yeah, good. Well, always watch it later if you want to or not. And I'll admit, for a first flight back, this is pretty long. This is a long journey today. I'm gonna do, I think, the talks in 525 on. There we are now. So, we are on Friday, so it'll probably be Monday now. We did 525 and. Hopefully talk a little bit more then as well about things. I've got so much to sort out still. It's been unbelievable. 3 weeks of moving, but like all these hidden costs and things. I think if you're in the UK, yeah, just prepare to have your bank raided quite often because there's a lot of hidden costs which people don't account for, especially me, because I never thought that I'd have to incur them. Right, we're in Scottish control. Let's go ahead and contact gentleman on that radar thing. I don't really know what we're going to say. We're at 6,000 feet. We're on request landing at New Carlisle Airport. Got to remember my ATC as well. Scottish Control, Golf Lima, Oscar Romeo Delta, with you 6,000 feet. Requesting a landing at Carlisle Airport. Again, no idea if that's even right, everybody, just kind of winging it at the moment.
Confirm your Delta, roger that. Airport is outside control airspace. You can remain on Unicom for that. If you need any service from me, I can assist you.
Roger that, we'll go back over to the Unicom 1228 Golf Romeo Delta. Brilliant, so that's actually pretty good. He said it's an uncontrolled airport. That's kind of good, it's also kind of bad. We're actually really close to it as well. I'm going to hand fly it. Basically, he's only controlling the aircraft with VFR at the moment, so we might as well do it ourselves. Let's do it ourselves and autopilot off. Not putting any input into the aircraft just yet. And it flies smoothly. We're going to turn on track, so we want a runway 24. We're going to turn the hand into 24. We'll get established, we'll probably go straight in to base leg and then final. EGNH 1020. I am surprised though, because usually when you have an area control, even in London, you want landing at an uncontrolled airport. excuse me, not an uncontrollable, but in an area, like a proper airport in that area, they will still give you it. Unless I'm misremembering it. Anyway, you can see there the bumpiness, the like winds coming off the mountains and things. Let's reduce it. Excuse me everybody, let's reduce our RPM to 2250 nice and early. We'll get our mixtures fully rich. Yeah, some nice turbulence here. This is proper turbulence as well. It's very rare you get it on GA planes, but you can actually see it now. Maybe that's an improvement from X-Plane 12 team again. If you are all looking forward to another twin prop aircraft, I cannot wait to get back in the King Air 350 on stream. I've been dying to get back into it because we got in 12.4 X-Plane 12 and give you all advance notice in case you want to join me, but we've now got a new airport in Spain. So the plan is to go in the King Air 350, miraculous plane by the way, from that airport in Spain. I just can't remember the name of it. I know it's pronounced very, very differently to how it's spelled. So it's B-I-L-B-A-O, I believe it is. So that'll be next week. I've got loads of flights planned out. I think most of the flights I've got planned out were planned out before the new year. I've just been working through them. I had so many plans planned out. And now after moving, of course, I've had a 3-week break, so we've still got those ones to fulfill. Still open to suggestions, but it's going to be very difficult to get to them because by the time I've done my list, it'll be the end of May. Right, there's Carlisle. I'm hoping we get a visual. We might have to do a flyover. There is some more high terrain here, so let's go ahead and level off. So yeah, next week, Talksim 525. I think I'll do that Monday, and then the King Air 350 possibly on Wednesday. And that'll be a VIP corporate in Spain, so we're doing that for a few hours. It is of course a turboprop, gas turbo engines. I think it's the aircraft that's making that noise, because now the headset is on. It sounds like something is shaking loose. Like there's a loose door or something, but this thing in here is latched. This is all latched. You know what? Let's go ahead and turn the weather radar off. It's not been very useful this entire flight. Three and a half thousand feet, that'll be fine. And as I say, there's no ILS here. We're just trying to intercept the airport at this point. I'm also trying to just explore the scenery because it is a very nice area. And also if we have an engine failure, like theoretically if both engines died at this point, we would be probably fine because there's a lot of flat land. There's a lot of places to land, but not in the build area. We have a good chance of survival here. I have missed it greatly. It's been like 3 weeks of withdrawal, almost like being a crack addict. I'd imagine that's the same thing. Withdrawn for the planes for 3 weeks and then finally get back in it. Feels amazing. It's a hand flight as well. It did feel strange, as I say, it felt like getting the plane for the first time almost, but Still remembered most of the procedures. I might fly with the GPS next time actually, just to see what it's like, just to try it out. Radio stack is good, but it is sometimes nice to have the visualization of things. Maybe sit a bit more forward. That's a bit better, isn't it, on the view? The one's way too far back, I think. Now we can see where we are. We can look out for the runways. You can see on the map there, we're heading sort of in that direction. It's now 8 knot headwind, which is kind of alright. There is a maximum component, crosswind component. I don't think it applies realistically to most planes though, because like sure it's there as a guide, but most planes will fly in strong winds, stronger than what's the minimum crosswind is anyway. It will cause problems, but if it's a headwind, usually it's okay. If the max headwind crosswind component was 10 knots and it was 11 knots and 12 knots outside, sure it might be struggling, but it'll still be able to manage it. Well, you'd hope so anyway. That's my experience on the sim. 100% talking about the sim here, everybody, not real life. Hey, let me know, is this a better view, everybody? I actually do like this. Better view of the instruments, better view of the nose, just a better view overall. You can see everything outside. Minus the instruments for the engines, that's one thing you can't see. Reduce the power, we're going to just come down to 3,000 feet. Now we're going over the hills, and we should be clear of them in a moment. Check out the map for the weather. So, Carlisle Airport is over there. It's uncontrolled. Ah, wow! Look at that. The entire scenery just changed to high density. Guess it's down to 2,000. And we're going to slow down, so reduce the power. Reduced it quite a lot already. We'll leave it at 2,000. We'll try and slow down to 100 and about 100, so we can drop a notch of flaps. And then we'll try and get the gear down. It does say 129, it's the one you can extend them, but I want to make sure we're fully established on downwind first. Let's turn the heading actually to runway 24 so we can see it. Incredible. So it's saying Carlisle Airport's there. We're technically on the base leg almost. With this aircraft, because the engines are so high up and far forward, you do have to go wide on them quite a lot. I'm hoping we can see it. Ah, there it is, right in front of us. In that case then, we might as well go gear down. We are at 2,000 feet. We might as well go straight in from this angle, so we can reduce our power now to about 1,500. I'm going to drop a notch of flaps early. We'll drop our landing lights on because the gear is down and locked. Can't see in that mirror on the wing, the engine there, but I know they're down. Mixtures are fully rich. Carlisle traffic, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta is base leg for runway 24, full stop landing. And again, we're just going to let our speed drift bleed off a little bit. This aircraft is stabilised now. I'll have to practice my navigation skills offline because obviously the 3-week gap. I'm having to constantly look at the X-Plane 12 map, which is it's an easy way to do it. I have done that before, even when I was fluent in it, but now it feels like I'm struggling to find things as easily. Granted, we didn't have any reference for the airport other than the heading, so yeah, my own fault really. So we're going to drop another notch of flaps. There's the runway. And we're going to go right round to final. Slow, steady 10 degrees to turn. If we can stabilise the aeroplane, it's all over. I'm going to put the props fully forward. Ah, that is awful, isn't it? That's an awful lineup. Full flaps. Ah, not too bad. Awful one was intercepted it. I think the turning on this plane is something the Jetstream team can improve because it's very, like, when you're in the turns, it feels like you have to use rudder, but you don't because it's, well, you do, but it feels like it's doing it automatically for you. So when you turn in, it's very odd. It just feels out of control. And the same thing with the engines. When you shut them down, they shut down very abruptly without any sort of slow down animation and no reducing sound, etc. Yeah, we've got a strong wind here, strong headwind. There we go, keep our power in. We don't want to sink because the Piper Seneca II is known for that. It's reduce the power and it just starts sinking like a rock. Not the best. We're down. What we're going to do on this one is we were going to refuel, but I think we can get to Glasgow on the remaining fuel that we have. So what we're going to do is we're going to backtrack runway 24. We're going to get taxi lights on, landing lights off, flaps are up. We can open our cowl flaps here for the taxi. Props and mixtures are already fully rich. Carlisle traffic, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta is backtracking runway 24 for departure. She did well. I think she's handling alright, but again, the turns leave something to be desired. It feels like on the Laminars Baron, the turns are a lot more coordinated and a lot easier to do. You'll have to go back and watch some more videos by other people, but I'm sure they feel that same thing in it. Okay, I'm going to leave this transponder onto mode C or mode S so we can squawk our altitude. This will be a straight out departure. We won't refuel. I think we can get, as I say, to Glasgow with 4 knot headwind. If it stays, it's pretty low at 8,000 feet. We should be able to make it, and we are going to be tracking the PIK. Now, he said technically, because this was uncontrolled, he wouldn't give us clearance. Now, Glasgow Prestwick should be a controlled airport, which means that he should be able to give us clearance for landing. First time here. I don't think this is an international airport. Obviously it's not, but it does have a PAPI system. So this may be a military airport. We're gonna go past the threshold. We're gonna get the replay up on this one because we forgot the other airport. There we go. Replay. Okay, so there we are, flying all over, trying to remember how to fly a plane. That's not too bad of an angle. All over, all over. It does look like a nice plane on the outside, though, I'm not gonna lie. That pitch is well too high. Yeah, not a great landing. Not great approach. Oh, okay, smooth touchdown. That wasn't awful, guys. It could have been worse. We could have crashed. I think if you do a bad landing like that, the worst you can get is actually crashing the plane. Right, 1228. Carlisle traffic, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta. It's departing runway 24 to the north. Now we're going to be tracking the PIK on 355, which is Glasgow Prestwick. We're going to go back up to 8,000 feet because we have about 70 nautical miles to go. So, parking brake release, landing lights on, text lights off. Just a quick flight control check. Neutralize the trim a little bit. Again, maximum 40 inches. Airspeed of the line at 60. 80 knots. Rotation speed there, a little bit high. Positive brake gear coming up. You can see turbulent weather ahead there, so it's a good thing we've got the pitot heat on still. Let's get the weather radar back on. We'll probably pass through those clouds and then we'll get into clear skies once again. Right, we want a heading of 300. So 300 there. We're already at 1,000 feet. As you can see here, watch when I'm turning, everybody. So watch when I'm turning. It feels, the controls as well just feel a little bit off. So turning, it doesn't feel like it's turning, and then all of a sudden it's in the turn and it's stabilized. But it's during that initial turn from straight and level, or even just straight flight to turning when there's a bit of an issue. Again, not really having to put rudder control in because it's all doing it itself. Right, we're climbing 2450 on the RPM. 31 inches, 0.5, and leading the mixtures. Say goodbye to Glasgow, and cow flaps coming up. That'll reduce the drag, probably make the aircraft a little bit more stable. Maybe I'm better off putting a little bit of rudder in there. Right, I'm going to use the autopilot. We might as well. We're on a cruise flight today, and we'll pitch down now for a bit of a faster speed. Maybe 1,000 feet a minute, maybe 700 feet. Who knows? If you are new here, welcome in. If you're a regular viewer, welcome. We had True Film Flying earlier. Again, great to be back. True Film Flying, great to be back on the channel. Things are going to continue as usual on usual schedule, Monday, Wednesday and Friday. Grantham CBT bringing you a varied hopefully varied and interesting flights in GA aircraft with a few commercial flights in there as well. There are just planes I bought when I just look back at them and I think, wow. The Gulfstream 550 by AKD Studio, absolutely fantastic. Granted, the Tucson 525 has got many things broken and doesn't function, but I still like the plane. The Seneca's great, the Baron with RAP is great. But yeah, that Gulfstream, I was looking back at it, I was thinking, that aircraft really is. It's just fantastic. Like, I know my review gave it quite... I was critical, but I also gave it quite high marks. I don't know if I mentioned it, but I do think that aircraft should have won potentially like private jet model of the year or whatever category it is. It really was fantastic. And it's like the Seneca II. The Seneca II is great, and its systems function correctly, and that's the main thing you want from a plane. By the way, we're getting about 105 there at 900 feet a minute, which is pretty good. You can see there, coming down. this last bit here, just a little bit all over the place. Yeah, we got to go up to Glasgow Prestwick now. Hopefully we'll pick up the NDB, and hopefully we'll get ATC services as well. Yeah, Piper Seneca II, everything works in here as expected, minus... You know, the persistent systems thing doesn't work all the time, but that's not like that doesn't break the aircraft. It just breaks the realism. Let me know as well, comments in chat, if you have an aircraft that's you've bought and you think, wow, this really is just top notch. For me, it's the AKD Studios 550. It really is. It's just absolutely superb. I know it's got problems, and I know that it's based on an aircraft which they can't really model because they're not allowed, but still, for me, 5 stars. Right, Echo Golf Papa Kilo, so we have got ATIS information. It's saying 121130.
Juliet, climb flight level 120.
Climb flight level 120, right now to Echo Juliet.
Wind 2605 knots, variable between 220 and 290 degrees. Cabo K, temperature +12, dew point QNH 1020. Acknowledge receipt of information Charlie and advise aircraft test contact.
Okay, so aircraft type.
Prestwick Airport information Charlie. Time 142 Zulu. Runway in use 30. Transition level. Flight level 70. Departing aircraft make initial contact with Scottish All 134.775.
Well, we'll do that when we need to.
Surface wind 2605 knots. Variable between 220 and 290 degrees. Cabo K. Temperature +12. Dew point +7, QNH 0, acknowledge receipt of information Charlie and advise on first contact.
Well, they got information Charlie on board. We're going to pitch down just a little bit now to let the speed build up. It's doing very well though at this altitude. We've not had to adjust anything. This is the benefit of being turbocharged. So you don't really have to change the power settings.
Juliet, fly heading off 200.
Heading 200, right now to Echo Juliet.
France 1887, climb now, flight level 80.
So we're going to do 30.6 on the manifold. I think this is volume here. And this is 833K rated and 25K rated as well, apparently. Look at that detail. Amazing, absolutely amazing. Okay, we didn't need the weather radar after all. At least this family day out is going well. Our commitments.
Control, good afternoon. So, correction, Lufthansa 8 Papa with you.
Lufthansa 8 Papa, Scottish Control, Roger.
1,000 feet to go, and I was a bit nervous about today. Blackpool to Glasgow, and I asked them, why can't we just go direct? And they said, well, we want a nice day out, we want to make the most of this Piper Seneca II. It's going to cost us a lot more, but then again, we didn't use refuel, so we should be alright. Cost is still quite a lot, though. You got the landing fees, you got
route direct submit.
touch and go fees, etc., and circuit fees if we needed them. Glasgow's going to be expensive to land in this kind of plane anyway.
Scottish Control, hello, Air Canada 861, flight level 320, direct to Papa Oscar Lima, we have CPDLC.
That's so cool, isn't it?
Air Canada 861, Scottish Control, low, roger.
Anyone get the feeling there's multiple
Center
controls?
FedEx 004, we will filter some network issues, sorry. Any further instructions with FedEx 004?
FedEx 004, direct submit.
Direct super FedEx 004.
Yeah, very strange being on the ground floor. Carpets though, that's the bonus. Carpets, positives and negatives, carpets, expenses, windows, traffic. Aircraft is pitching around like crazy, what is going on?
Scottish Control, easy 811 with your flight level 240.
Wonder what happened there, maybe I pushed the rudder control or something.
Easy 811, Scottish Control, stop descent, flight level 200.
Flight level 200, easy 811.
Rhino 8 Echo Juliet, climb flight level 160.
Flight 160, Ryanair 2 Echo Juliet.
Easy 318 Charlie, descent flight level 170.
Descend 170, easy 318 Charlie.
Air France 1887, climb flight level 330.
Climb 330, Alpha 20.
Great setup. I might take a picture of it. I've got to take a picture of it, everybody, and post it. So if you're interested in looking at what my new setup looks like, I'm going to put it on the channel. I actually do like this desk a lot. Really good. Right, 8,000 feet.
Flight level 130, easy 318 Charlie.
Well, a little bit over there.
FedEx 004, Unicom 122.78, bye-bye.
Let's reduce our throttles, manifolds, so
Say again, center FedEx
2,330 and
Unicom
30 inches.
122.78.
Monitor Unicom 122.78, FedEx 004.
Air France 1887, stop climb flight level 310 initially.
Climb 310 initially, Alpha 188.
On Scottish Control, I'm wondering if they've got a Glasgow Prestwick control.
Papa, can we request climb 360 first?
Doesn't look like it.
Lufthansa 8 Papa FM, climb flight level 380.
Can we get 360 Lufthansa 8 Papa?
Apologies, climb flight level 360.
360 Lufthansa 8 Papa.
We've still got information Charlie, 1020. Runway 24 at Carlisle is complete. I'll use this as reference for landing, but it'd be nice if we get a straight in landing, wouldn't it? I mean, look at that. It is giving us 30 for landing on X-Plane 12, so maybe we'll get a straight in. Let's tune in the ILS. 1103.
Lufthansa 460, Unicom 122.78, bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Lufthansa 460.
Ryanair 2 Echo Juliet, and left heading 170 degrees.
Left 170, Ryanair 2 Echo Juliet.
Yeah, there's the autopilot again, it keeps disconnecting.
Ryanair Echo Juliet, climb flight level 250, after vectors, Lister 1 Lima arrival.
Climb flight level 250 after Listo 1 Echo arrival, is it?
After Ryanair Echo Juliet, after vectors, there'll be Lister 1 Lima arrival.
After vectors, Listo 1 Lima arrival, Ryanair Echo Juliet.
That's rare, that is. I've rarely had that arrival before. Right, I'm just looking at the ADF needle. It's come 8 live.
Ryanair Echo Juliet, resume on navigation, direct Lister.
150 on max.
Listo, Ryanair Echo Juliet.
I guess we can keep that in mind. At 8,000 feet, it'll be about 150 knots on the cruise. And that's with a headwind as well. And even without the headwind, it was about 151. So we're barely getting 160. Welcome in, Black Knight. Good to see you again, brother. I know you're talking about GA. Take the GA. Take command. S340 is a brilliant product.
Holding Delta 1.
Attitude Flight Whiskey Scottish Hello, thanks. Runway 24 cleared for takeoff. Surface winds 240 degrees 10 knots.
Clear for takeoff, runway 24, Ryanair 235 Whiskey.
Either 31 Charlie, descent flight level 70, vectors ILS approach runway 23.
Descent flight level 70 and vector for the ILS approach 23, easy 318 Charlie.
Scottish Control, hello, Blue Max 45 Papa Whiskey is just past the Bull Hill Beer Wide, flight level 320.
Let's turn the radio down. Black Knight, yeah, take Commander 340. I don't think I've seen that one. If you mean the Saab, actually I have seen the Saab, but I don't think it's available for X-Wing 12, is it? Otherwise, I probably would have got it myself. You know, you guys, I do like not only GA propeller aircraft, which are but mostly twin pistons, I'll be honest, mostly twin pistons and turboprops, twin turboprops. I don't know if we should contact them yet. I think we probably should and try and get a London clearance. We want to listen to the ACE information one more time.
Advise aircraft type on first contact.
So we're at Piper Seneca II, twin piston.
Prestwick Airport information Delta.
It's
Time
Delta now.
1450 Zulu. Runway in use 30. Transition level. Flight level 70. Departing aircraft make initial Scottish control 134.775. Surface wind 2608 knots. Cab OK. Temperature +14. Dew point +6. QNH 1020. Acknowledge receipt of information Delta and
Let's change to Delta. That's pretty much the only change. Everything else is the same. So ADF needles come alive, but it's not stabilized. Usually that means it's within sort of boundaries of the frequency. Again, it still blows my mind how aircraft can use frequencies to fly through the air. Blows my mind. They don't exist, of course. They're just invisible things, but aircraft can use them to fly around, which is, it could call it magic.
Hello, solve the call for the conflict with the Blue Max. Come back to me after you clear of conflict.
It works, sort of. We're working on an update. We're still waiting on an update. Yeah, hopefully. But I'll be honest, there's other aircraft coming out.
Scottish KLM 68 Bravo.
Which I mentioned. I think it's the ATR, is it? It's a plane which does in fact fly from Guernsey to Manchester. And you know, guys, I do have an FBO in Guernsey. I think I talked about it with someone else, but the ATR 72, if it is the correct plane, let me just check. Yes, so again, I don't know if this is the correct one. There seems to be two studios working on an ATR 72. That's all I know. It's a twin turboprop. Personally, I want to wait for that one. I think we should move away from this idea of updating aircraft for X-Plane 12, because that is a really, for me, lazy way of keeping planes in the sim, rather than doing the work and keeping them. In other words, they just have to change them over to X-Plane 12. They don't do anything else to them. They don't usually fix any problems either. We need to request London anyway.
Right, that's could you come on TT8, bye-bye.
Unicom 122.8, right network, pictures there.
Scottish Control, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta, aircraft type Piper Seneca II, flight over 080, requesting a landing at Glasgow Prestwick, information Delta. I hope that came through and I hope it was right.
Golf Romeo Delta, hello, squawk 3614, pass your details.
3614, Golf Romeo Delta.
And pass your details.
3614. Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta, we have information Delta at 8,000 feet, QNH 1020, requesting a landing at Glasgow Prestwick.
Golf Romeo Delta, you're inside Class Alpha space, while you're VFR, which is not allowable within Class Alpha, so it's whether you switch to IFR and start your descent.
Roger, we've been sort of flying IFR already. Happy to take instructions from yourself for IFR flight, Golf Romeo Delta.
Golf Romeo Delta, flying 320 degrees, it's a radar control service.
320 degrees for radar control service, Golf Romeo Delta. Okay, brilliant, 320 degrees.
Mike Papa, holding short, runway 24. X3 Mike Papa, jump closing shortly, come on to Unicom 128, bye-bye.
I did contact him for London. Usually it would be allowed.
Very good evening, KLM 68 Bravo 2000 climbing.
KLM 68 Bravo, Scottish Roger, climb flight level 100.
Climb flight level 100, KLM 68 Bravo.
Even if it was VFR, it would be out of vectors in from.
Altitude 6,000 feet, Prestwick QNH 1020.
Descend 6,000, QNH 1020, Golf Romeo Delta. Let's get descending then. But yeah, usually it can give you landing clearance when you're in a controlled airspace on VFR flight. I'm not sure why you would say that. That's so bizarre, isn't it? Anyway, we're going to reduce our power now 2200. Let me read the chat.
Left heading 300 degrees.
Left 300 degrees, Golf Romeo Delta. Left 300 degrees, Golf Romeo Delta. Pressing the wrong buttons there for my mic.
Easy 318 Charlie, could we request further descent, please?
Easy 318 Charlie, descend to altitude caution, Easy 318 Charlie, fly heading of 350 degrees.
Fly heading 350 degrees, 318 Charlie.
Thanks, Easy 318 Charlie, descend altitude 3,500 feet, Glasgow, QNH.
I did tell him the QNH as well when I contacted him and the information. I basically gave him the information 3 times.
Glasgow QNH 101 Easy 318 Charlie.
Ready descent, flight level 130.
Yeah, when I contacted him, I gave him all the info, gave him my details, and then he wanted them again, like he wasn't listening.
Scottish, good afternoon. Easy 15 from X-ray at Glasgow, ready for departure.
I wonder if he is. Yeah, Black Knight, I am as well. It's going to be a good one, hopefully. As long as it's not too expensive.
I got from a Delta, it's my apologies, you are correct, it's Class Delta, so I can do IFR, VFR question if you like, so would you like to remain IFR or switch back to VFR?
I'll switch back to VFR if possible, Golf Romeo Delta.
Golf Romeo Delta, roger, VFR cancel, action IFR cancel, time 15140, report when you have the field in sight.
Roger, IFR is cancelled, we'll report the field in sight, Golf Romeo Delta.
Runway 235 Whiskey, climb flight level 100.
There you go, guys. So
Level 100, runway 235.
I thought you could do it here.
61 on navigation, direct ballocks.
Well, if we look at the map, we could probably do a straight in. It is raining a little bit, so we'll just do minor corrections. We'll just keep descending to 6,000 feet. In fact, we'll keep going down to 5,000 feet, a little bit more, then we'll keep open field in sight. Reduce the props now to 2250.
Descent flight level 90.
Peter, he can come off, even though it's just started raining a little bit. Let's get the charts up for this airport. Echo Golf Papa Kilo. 1020 on the QNH. Transition level is probably soon, I imagine. So we go here to airports, aerodrome chart.
Easy 318 Charlie, turn left heading 320 degrees. Left
Tuned in the ILS.
Charlie. 123 Whiskey, fly heading off 210 degrees.
Fly heading 210 degrees.
Oh, look at that, you got Prestwick control zone and control area charts, Gannett, textual, ATC minimum controls, minimum altitude, that's interesting. 3,000 feet, we may as well go down to 3,000 feet. Here's the chart.
Easy 811, fly heading 010 degrees.
010 degrees, easy 811.
France 1887, Unicom 1TT8, bye.
As you can see there, so Class D's still coming up like I thought it would. VIP though, VIP. Wind farms.
KLM 62 Bravo, climb flood level 250.
250 now, KLM 68 Bravo.
That accent is something else, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic.
KLM 68 Bravo, Unicom 1TT8, bye.
Order Unicom 128, thank you for the wonderful ATC as always. It's been a pleasure. See you next time. Bye bye.
See you. Easy 23, cushion Rhino 235, Whiskey, climb flood level 250.
Flight level 250, around there, 235 Whiskey.
Easy 811, resume on navigation, direct Alton.
We need to keep the eye out for a field.
Easy 811, sorry, could you repeat that?
Hey, from direct Alton.
Nothing
Direct
appearing.
Alton, easy 811.
Let's level off.
Easy 811, Unicom 1TT8, bye bye. Easy 318 Charlie, sorry for the late turn, turn left heading off 210 degrees, one established localizer at latitude 37 line bar.
Roger, left 210 and once established localizer descend with a glide, easy 318 Charlie.
This is going to be straight in, isn't it?
Pilot 235 Whiskey, resume on navigation, direct ADSOP.
Resume on navigation to ADSOP, around there, 235 Whiskey.
Sorry everybody, I'm just browsing this chart because I was looking for something else, but I don't think it's going to pop up on it. Probably not the right one. Let's go back to the airport. Let's see where we're going to be parking. We could probably get off by November and then probably just park at a hotel, I think. That's the easiest thing to do. We are visual, so we probably don't even need the ILS. It's just there for a reference. But yeah, again, like I say, once again, Truth in Flying, Black Knight, all the usuals. Thank you for being here. It's really good to see you all. It's really good to be back on. And hopefully, moving forward, the streams will be back on schedule, as I mentioned a bit before. So 1020 on the QNH. We may as well switch over to it now. 1020. It says information Delta 3614. Now, he did cancel the IFR, which means technically we can go back to squawking 7000. Let's do that.
Easy 318 Charlie, once located ground 121.705, clear to land runway 23,
There's the runway.
220 degrees,
Let's take control.
bye.
Roger, clear to land runway 13 and once vacated ground 121.705, easy 318 Charlie, bye bye.
This will be our final destination, final landing this evening.
Control is now closing, Unicom 1 TTS from 8, bye bye.
Well, we almost had landing clearance. Scottish Control has probably gone to do some more training, I think. Remind themselves of which airspace they're in and what airspace the airports are. Well, goodbye Scottish Control. We'll go over to 1228. Good ATC as usual. Good services. Aircraft is heavy to control. Right, we're going to bring the manifold back. Right back now to 2000. 2000 going to descend down to, as you can see, the chart said earlier 4,000 and 3,000, and then it'd probably be 3,000 feet for the approach. Bring those way back now, 1500 RPM. Glasgow Prestwick traffic, Golf Lima Oscar Romeo Delta is approaching the airport for a visual landing runway 30. Again, not the best readouts today, is it? Right, one thing I don't mind about the aircraft is having an ice on the de-ice on the windshield, but it does get in the way. Like, it blocks the view considerably. Right, there's the runway. We don't really have. We do have a distance there, 6.9. Get the gear down nice and early. Get the landing lights on. I'm going to keep the power settings where they are for now. We're going to do 1 notch of flaps. Gone below 3,000 because we're coming down to approach. We're actually above the glide slope. We at least get a bit more established, so we're going to do a... See, there it is again. There's that turning issue. But yeah, we're going to get a bit more established now on final. I think after this, everybody, we're going to take a nice long bike ride. And there's the runway. You got the gear down, 1 notch of flaps. We did it on the fuel we had. We've got 12 gallons left. Realistically, we've got enough for a go-round. Well, we haven't got enough for an alternate airport, I don't think. I think today our alternate was probably going to be Glasgow Airport up there to the north. Could we get there in time with 12 gallons in each? I don't think we could, to be honest. It's pushing it. It is pushing it, to be honest. Let's go ahead and just slow it down a bit. So we'll pitch up a bit. We'll drop a... We'll bring the speed back first and then drop the flaps to second notch, so second stage of flaps. Yeah, we close the cow flaps. Not bad at all. We're above the glide slope, but height has been needed today. Please feel free to join Grantham Corporate next Monday when I do the 525 flight from Biggin Hill Airport. That'll be Monday, 13:30 PM GMT time, British time. And then on Wednesday we'll be going in the King Air 350, getting back into the old commercial turboprop operations. Although technically on the King Air 350 I personally class it as GA, and it is GA aircraft really. It's usually used for business flights. If it's going to be flown commercially, I mean. So we are coming in nice and steady, again a little bit high up. We got someone trolling on the radio there with clearly no manners. Looking good, keep the power in. We've got 5 knot headwind. Interesting, it happens when Scottish Control goes offline and then they do these kind of things. What is that? Look at that runway, everybody. Crosses directly over runway 30. Never seen that before. Like, the actual landing point is the exact same, almost the same landing point as 30. By the way, we are way too high on this approach. Yeah, insane. Imagine if you got 2 aircraft there. Obviously, we'd never have operations going across like that, but imagine if you did. Realistically, I think we should have gone round, but we're down on the ground anyway. We had a long wheelie there at the end just to show off our skills. Okay, bring up the map. So we are going to get off, I think, by November. And then we could just park at a hotel. Foxtrot on the left, November on the right. Excuse me, Foxtrot on the right, November on the left. Probably the same guy on the radio now who didn't know how to start his plane the other day. Right, let's go off Unicom. We don't have to listen to that anymore. We've got a nice hangar up ahead, potentially for our aircraft. Anyway, we do the after landing, we do the strobes and landing lights off. We don't need taxi lights because it's so bright. We'll get the cow flaps open. We didn't put the props fully forward. That's probably why the approach was a little bit off. Flaps coming up. Okay, looks like over here we have parking. I don't know if this is... Again, I don't know where we'd park at this airport. It's my first time here. It does look like a nice one. Oh, actually, there's GA at the end, so we are in the right place. But yeah, it looks like a nice little airport, this. It reminds me of Aberdeen Dundee Airport. Excuse me, Aberdeen Airport. Aberdeen Dice Airport, where we departed in the King Air C90B for the, of course, Scottish Air Ambulance Service missions. Right, we could turn the squawk to off. In fact, we could probably turn our avionics off at this point. And again, just completely new to this airport, so I don't really know like where the official parking is for GA. There's planes there, but we'll assume they can park here. Parking brake coming on. We can turn all the lights off minus the beacon light. The pitot should be off. You didn't hear it, but there was a sudden shutdown there from the engines. All the magnetos are coming off. The beacon lights, alternators and battery master. The engines and the battery there spooling down. We're going to turn the fuel flow off. We should really have this down here to fan for 2 minutes. But I'm sure it'll be fine. Heat and things can come off. We can let everybody out now. I appreciate it's been a nice long 2-hour flight as well. A good warm up, I think. Stretching the legs, etc. in the actual plane. At least we parked on the yellow line. The flying might not have been great, but we parked on the yellow line, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters in this simulator. Right, let's empty the plane out. We take everyone out, including the pilot, actually. As you notice there, the engines are still ready to be taken abroad, taken in the air. There is definitely a sound though when the aircraft's on the ground, like a sound glitch going on. I have no idea what it is. Let's watch the replay, guys. Let's see how long that wheelie actually was. So here we are, coming down to 30. okay, not bad, not bad. And then there was a long flare, long wheelie. That was pretty bad, wasn't it? That was a huge wheelie. Very nicely done. Yeah, I mean, that wheelie thing at the end, a bit embarrassing, but honestly, for 3 weeks off from flying, it's just amazing how, like, quickly your muscle memory goes. Especially on planes like this, the double twin piston aircraft. I always say, though, I mean, most pilots say it, but if you can get a walk away from a landing, it's a good one. I actually fly better than this in real life, which is hard to believe as well. That's it, though, for me. We've done a return flight today. We've done Blackpool to Teesside, to Carlisle, to Glasgow Prestwick Airport. I've really enjoyed it. Flying's not been great, but I have overall found it very, very good to be back. As I say, we'll return Monday, the 525, from Biggin Hill to Europe. I can't remember if I selected Brussels or someone else. Then on Wednesday, of course, the King Air 350. And leave your comments in the actual video comments, please, everybody. Because apparently, like, despite people interacting in the live streams and having people here, YouTube doesn't. It's very strange. You get interactions in the live chat and then YouTube won't recommend it, but then when people comment in the actual video comments, they'll recommend it. I always think that's backwards, and apparently YouTube's now changed to being more like friendly towards long form content. So I think, yeah, if you got any like final thoughts, comments, post them in the actual video comments and live stream comments afterwards as well, so that it boosts it in the algorithm, is what I'm trying to say. Thank you so much for being here. I'm Grantham CPT. We will return next week. Have a lovely weekend, everybody. I still got some stuff to put together. I still got to put my wardrobe together. Got to get rid of some boxes and a lot of other stuff. And have a fantastic day, weekend, and take care.